God says, "This is urgent. I order you to open this now. Don't tell anyone. Only 35 minutes left. Don't make the mistake of skipping. Open this immediately before it's too late. Chosen one." This message did not come to you by accident, and you already know that in your spirit. Something is moving behind the curtain right now. Something is being discussed in secret. There is a conversation happening that has your name in it, and the people involved do not realize that heaven is already listening. I am speaking to you because time is running out. The danger is real, and what is unfolding around you is more serious than you think. This is not a normal warning. This is not a casual word. This is a divine interruption. Archangel Michael stands near you at this hour, and he was sent with a message of urgency because there are forces trying to interfere with what God has already marked for your life. Chosen one, have you felt it? Have you felt that strange pressure, that inner unrest, that sense that something is off even when everything around you looks quiet? That was not your imagination. That was discernment. That was heaven alerting your spirit before the full truth reached your eyes. Someone is trying to move in silence. Someone is trying to decide without you. Someone believes they can push you away from a place, a promise, an opportunity, or an assignment that was meant for you. But they made one mistake. They thought God would stay silent. They thought your name could be handled in darkness without a response from the throne. They were wrong. Very wrong. What is happening now is bigger than people, bigger than gossip, bigger than politics, bigger than human betrayal. This is spiritual. This is urgent. And if you are listening to this message right now, it is because God refused to let you be blindsided. Stay with me until the end, because the truth is about to get even more serious. But first, if you know this word is reaching you for a reason, comment 777 below. Declare, "God is warning and protecting me." And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this message with someone who needs this urgent word today. There is a meeting being prepared in secret, and you were never supposed to know about it this early. The door is closed. The voices are low. The atmosphere is calculated. But make no mistake, this is not a meeting about helping you, honoring you, or making room for your growth. This is a meeting about stopping you before you step into something greater. Your name has come up in rooms you have never entered. Your future is being discussed by people who smile in public and scheme in private. They are not gathering to celebrate your progress. They are gathering to decide how to block it, slow it, bury it, and remove you from a place they know deep down was never theirs to control. God says, "I must tell you plainly now, because the weight of this warning is too serious to soften." Some people have recognized the favor on your life, and instead of respecting it, they have chosen to resist it. They have seen your consistency. They have seen your endurance. They have watched you survive pressure that should have broken you, and instead of being inspired, they became threatened. They do not understand why your presence carries authority, even when you say little. They do not understand why doors seem to respond to you, why truth rises when you enter a room, why what is hidden begins to shake when you get near it. But they have felt it, and because they have felt it, they have made you a target. This is why the tension around you has been increasing. This is why certain attitudes changed without explanation. This is why some people began pulling away while others suddenly became overly curious, overly watchful, overly involved in matters that should not concern them. What you sensed was real. The strange silence was real. The discomfort in your spirit was real. Heaven has not brought this word to you to entertain your emotions. Heaven brought this word because something deliberate is taking place. People are trying to rewrite what was spoken over your life. People are trying to reposition themselves where God intended to position you. They want access without surrender. They want influence without anointing. They want the outcome, but not the obedience that prepared you for it. And now, because your appointed time is getting close, the resistance has intensified. They are talking because they know something is shifting. They are plotting because they can feel that your season is changing. They are trying to get ahead of what God is about to do by forming agreements in secret. But every agreement formed in darkness is already exposed before the light of heaven. You need to hear this clearly. They are not discussing whether you are qualified. Deep down, they already know you are. They are discussing how to keep you from being seen, how to keep you from being chosen, how to keep you from standing where your calling is about to become visible. This is not just opposition. This is fear disguised as strategy. It is insecurity disguised as wisdom. It is spiritual resistance hiding behind human conversation. And yet, even now, while they whisper, God is watching. While they calculate, heaven is recording. While they try to move pieces around without your knowledge, the Lord is already stepping into the room they thought belonged to them alone. So do not ignore the seriousness of this moment. Do not brush it off. Do not call it a coincidence. Something is happening, and it concerns you directly. Have you ever felt, deep inside, that people were planning around you while pretending everything was normal? Have you ever sensed that a decision was being shaped in secret while God was urging you to stay alert? If that is you, write "God exposed it" in the comments, because what heaven reveals, heaven is also prepared to confront, and what they have said behind closed doors is only the beginning of what God is about to overturn. This did not start the day they called that meeting. It started long before that. In the moment your life began to carry something they could not explain and could not control. What is happening around you now is not small, and it is not harmless. The pressure has grown because the hour has grown serious. You are not imagining the heaviness that has followed you. You are not being dramatic for feeling that something has shifted. You are standing in a moment where what has been hidden is beginning to move closer to the surface, and that is why your spirit has been restless. God says the danger is not merely that people are speaking against you. The danger is that some of them have been studying your weakness, watching your silence, measuring your pain, waiting for the exact moment when you are tired enough, isolated enough, and discouraged enough to accept less than what heaven wrote over your life. That is why this warning comes with such force. This is not about a simple misunderstanding. This is not about hurt feelings or ordinary conflict. There is an intentional effort to wear down your confidence, to cloud your discernment, and to make you question whether you ever heard God clearly at all. They may never say it openly, but their actions reveal the plan. If they cannot destroy what God put in you, they will try to exhaust you. If they cannot erase your calling, they will try to delay your courage. If they cannot close heaven's hand over your life, they will try to make you walk away from the door on your own. That is why this moment is so serious. The attack is not only against your opportunities, it is against your clarity. It is against your peace. It is against your memory of who you are before God. Some people hope that by now you would be too drained to fight, too wounded to trust, too confused to keep standing. They expected your silence to become surrender. They expected your tears to become weak. They expected your waiting season to make you believe you had been forgotten. But God says they misread the season, and they misread you. What looked like your breaking was actually your preparation. What looked like your isolation was actually your separation. What looked like delay was heaven refusing to release you before the right moment. Still, you must understand the gravity of this hour. You are not in an ordinary battle. Something precious is near. Something weighty is close enough now that the atmosphere around your life is reacting. That is why betrayal feels sharper. That is why the tension feels heavier. That is why small things have seemed louder than usual in your spirit. When a door from God is near, resistance often becomes more aggressive because darkness can sense movement before people can explain it. And this is where many lose their footing, not because they were defeated, but because they became overwhelmed. Not because God left them, but because fear spoke louder than truth for one dangerous moment. God says, do not let that become your story. Do not let this pressure rename you. Do not let this secret opposition convince you that you are abandoned. Heaven would not interrupt you like this if your place could truly be stolen. Heaven would not send warning if heaven had no plan to intervene. The seriousness of the attack is real, but so is the seriousness of God's protection. Yes, what they are doing matters. Yes, the room is real. Yes, the scheme is active. But above all of that, God is making it clear that your life is not resting in the hands of those who whisper against you. Your life is resting in the hands of the one who called you, marked you, preserved you, and kept you alive through every season that should have ended you. So take this deeply into your spirit. The pressure is real because the moment is real. The shaking is real because your season is changing. The opposition is intensifying because something sacred is close. And hell always trembles when heaven is about to reveal what it has protected for a long time. Archangel Michael is not standing at a distance from this moment. He is not watching passively. He is not waiting to see what your enemies decide before heaven responds. God says Michael has already been sent ahead of you, and his presence in this hour is not symbolic. It is active, it is deliberate, it is forceful. The same room where your name is being mentioned on earth has already been touched by a greater authority from above. What they believed was hidden has already been entered by light. What they thought was protected by secrecy has already been exposed by the Spirit of God. And what they assumed could be handled quietly is now under divine interruption. You need to understand what heaven is showing you. Michael is standing with a scroll in his hands, and on that scroll your name is written in light that no human hand can dim, erase, or alter. Your calling is there. Your assignment is there. The place prepared for you is there. The promise they are trying to tamper with is there. The future they are whispering against is there. And the reason this matters so deeply is that the scroll does not come from men. It was not issued by a room, a committee, a title, or a system. It came from God. That means what heaven has spoken over your life cannot be canceled by those who feel threatened by your rising. It cannot be edited by envy. It cannot be revoked by manipulation. It cannot be buried by the politics of insecure people. God says this part of your story is holy, and that is exactly why the opposition became so aggressive. They are not only reacting to your presence, they are reacting to what is written somewhere in their spirit, even if they would never admit it. They sense that your life carries a divine order they cannot control. They sense that your steps are not random. They sense that there is something sealed over you, something preserved, something protected, something marked by heaven for a time such as this. And because they cannot reach the hand of God, they are trying to reach your confidence. Because they cannot tear the scroll in heaven, they are trying to shake your belief on earth. Because they cannot stop what has been ordained, they are trying to make you doubt it before it appears. But Michael did not come to watch you collapse under pressure. He came to remind you that heaven has not lost track of your name. He came to remind you that what is sealed by God is not vulnerable to human sabotage. He came to remind you that while others have been speaking in closed rooms, the Lord has been speaking over you in the unseen realm with a far greater voice. This is why you must not let fear interpret this season for you. Fear will tell you that the room is too powerful. Fear will tell you that the people involved are too influential. Fear will tell you that what they decide in private will define your future in public. But God says no. The private room of men is not higher than the throne of heaven. Their paper is not higher than God's scroll. Their decision is not final. Their agreement is not supreme. Their timing is not sovereign. There is a higher order over your life. And Archangel Michael stands in this message as a witness that heaven is not negotiating with darkness over what belongs to you. Heaven is drawing a line. Heaven is guarding what was spoken. Heaven is preparing to reveal what no enemy has the authority to erase. Do you believe God wrote your name before anyone tried to speak against it? Do you believe heaven can defend what heaven ordained? If this is your word, say it with boldness. My name cannot be erased. Write it in the comments. Hold this message in your spirit and keep listening, because what heaven is about to do next will not only expose the plot against you, it will begin to overturn it. Do not react. Do not rush. Do not confront. God says this with urgency because the next move you make matters more than you understand right now. The danger in this hour is not only what they are planning behind closed doors. The danger is that the pressure of what you feel could tempt you to move ahead of God. And if you move in fear, if you speak too soon, if you force a confrontation before heaven finishes what it is doing, you may step into a battle God never asked you to fight with human strength. This is why the instruction from heaven is so clear. Stay silent, but stay awake. Be still, but do not be naive. Remain calm, but do not lose discernment. God is not telling you to ignore the warning. He is telling you not to answer darkness in the language darkness expects. There are moments when speaking is power, and there are moments when silence is power. This is one of those moments. Right now, your silence is not weakness. Your silence is warfare. Your restraint is not fear. Your restraint is obedience. Heaven is telling you to hold your peace because there are conversations taking place above you that matter more than the ones taking place around you. There are movements in the unseen realm that your natural eyes cannot track yet. God is already entering rooms you cannot enter. He is already unsettling minds you cannot reach. He is already loosening agreements you did not even know were being formed. If you panic now, you will misread the season. If you react now, you may waste sacred strength trying to prove yourself to people who have already chosen not to understand you. God says you do not need to defend what I have already sealed. You do not need to force open what I am already opening. You do not need to chase what I have already assigned to your name. That is why you must guard your mouth in this hour. Guard your emotions. Guard your impulses. Guard your need to explain yourself. Not every accusation deserves an answer. Not every closed door deserves your hand on the handle. Not every betrayal deserves your energy. Some battles are won not by shouting louder, but by standing still long enough to watch God expose what was hidden and dismantle what was built against you. This is the hard instruction, because your flesh wants answers now. Your heart wants relief now. The wounded part of you wants to confront, to ask questions, to force honesty out of people who have been dishonest in secret. But God says, do not lower yourself to the level of their scheme. Do not interrupt divine timing just to satisfy human emotion. I am not asking you to be passive. I am asking you to be positioned. I am not asking you to pretend nothing is happening. I am asking you to trust that I see everything that is happening. You must understand this deeply. Silence is not surrender when God is the one who commanded it. Silence becomes strategy when heaven breathes on it. Silence becomes protection when God is preserving you from saying one wrong word in a fragile hour. Silence becomes power when your stillness makes room for the Lord to speak in ways no human argument ever could. So stay near God. Pray more than you speak. Listen more than you explain. Let peace become your shield and discernment become your guard. Because while others are whispering in secret, heaven is already moving names, rooms, outcomes, and timing. And very soon, what you were told to remain silent about will become the very thing God uses to prove that your life was never in their hands to begin with. There is someone among them whose spirit is no longer at rest. They sat in the room. They heard the words. They watched the tone of the conversation shift, and something inside them began to tremble. God says not everyone connected to this plan is as confident as they appear. Not everyone in that circle is sleeping peacefully. Not everyone can continue pretending that what is being done to you is justified. One person, perhaps the least expected, has begun to feel the weight of what is taking place. Their conscience is stirring. Their peace is breaking. The words spoken against you did not settle well in their soul, because even if they do not fully understand your calling, they know there is something deeply wrong about what is being formed in secret. This matters more than you realize. Heaven often begins the collapse of an unjust plan from the inside. Before public exposure comes private disturbance. Before the room breaks apart, one heart begins to shake. Before the agreement falls, one voice begins to hesitate. God says, I know how to enter the conscience of a person. I know how to trouble the mind of the one who sat too close to evil. I know how to awaken memory, conviction, and discomfort in the one who thought they could stay neutral while wrong was being done. And that is what is happening now. Someone in that room is remembering your faithfulness. Someone is remembering your integrity. Someone is remembering the moments you stayed respectful when others were arrogant, the moments you remained steady when others were unstable, the moments you carried more than anyone knew without demanding recognition. They may have ignored those things before, but they cannot ignore them now. The Spirit of God is pressing on their memory. What they once brushed aside is now returning to them with force. They are beginning to see that what is being planned is not wisdom. It is fear. It is not protection. It is manipulation. It is not justice. It is insecurity trying to preserve itself. And because they are beginning to see it, they will not be able to participate with the same ease. Their voice may not rise immediately, but their agreement is already weakening. Their silence may continue for a little while, but their inner certainty is breaking apart. God says, do not underestimate what I can do through one disturbed conscience. I do not need a whole room to change when I have already touched one heart. You do not need everyone to repent at once when one hesitation can interrupt the momentum of darkness. One uneasy glance, one delayed signature, one unexpected objection, one moment of moral discomfort can become the crack through which light enters, and the entire plan begins to collapse. This is why you must not panic. Things are already shifting in places you cannot see. The plan against you is not as stable as it looked. The people aligned against you are not as united as they seemed. The agreement is not as strong as the enemy wanted you to believe. God says, I am dismantling this from within. I am letting unrest spread where false confidence once ruled. I am removing peace from those who thought they could move against you without consequence. I am causing the very room built to exclude you to become unstable under the weight of its own deception. So keep your spirit steady. Do not obsess over names. Do not try to identify the person. Do not chase hidden details. Trust the hand of God in the unseen. The same God who warned you is already working inside the circle that tried to shut you out. And when the right moment comes, the one whose conscience has been shaken will become a turning point in this story. What was meant to move smoothly against you will begin to stutter, hesitate, and break. Because heaven has already placed conviction in the middle of the conspiracy. Within the next few days, a sign will come, and when it comes, you must not dismiss it as a coincidence. God says, I am not warning you without also giving you confirmation. I am not uncovering the scheme without also preparing evidence for your spirit. For some, the sign will come within 72 hours. For others, it will unfold within 7 days. But hear this clearly. It will come. It may arrive through a message you did not expect, a phone call at an unusual hour, a name mentioned suddenly, a conversation that exposes more than it intended to, or a door that begins to shift without explanation. What looks small on the surface will carry weight in your spirit, because the sign is not for your eyes alone, it is for your discernment. It is heaven letting you know that what you felt was real, what you heard in the spirit was true, and what was hidden is already beginning to move into the light. Do not panic when the sign appears. Do not respond with fear. Do not rush ahead, trying to control what only God can unfold properly. Receive it with calm. Receive it with sobriety. Receive it with the quiet confidence of someone who understands that when God confirms a word, He is also advancing His hand. The sign is not the full miracle. It is the announcement that the miracle has already started moving behind the veil. It is the whisper before the thunder. It is the crack before the wall falls. It is the first tremor before the room built against you begins to collapse under the weight of divine truth. And when it happens, remember this. God did not reveal it to frighten you. He revealed it to anchor you. He revealed it so your faith would stand firm when the next stage begins. So stay watchful, stay prayerful, stay close to the presence of God, because the confirmation is nearer than you think, and when it reaches you, it will not only reassure your heart, it will prepare you for the greater overturning that heaven is about to release over your name, your place, and the future that no secret meeting has the power to cancel. God says the moment of reversal has already begun, even if your natural eyes have not yet seen the full evidence of it. While they were whispering in secret, heaven was issuing commands. While they were trying to frame the outcome, God was rewriting the ending. While they were building a case against you in darkness, the Lord was establishing a defense around you in light. This is the part they did not plan for. This is the part no strategy of man can stop. They believed the room belonged to them. They believed the timing was in their control. They believed that if they moved carefully enough, spoke quietly enough, and acted early enough, they could shape your future without consequence. But God says no room is truly closed when I decide to enter it. No conversation is hidden when I choose to expose it. No verdict stands when it rises against what I have written over your life. You need to hear this deeply, because your spirit must be anchored in it before the full turning happens. What was meant to erase you is about to elevate you. What was meant to push you out is about to position you higher. What was meant to shame you is about to reveal the hand of God so clearly that even those who doubted your calling will have no choice but to recognize that heaven was involved. They wanted to remove your name from a place of influence, but God is about to make your name impossible to ignore. They wanted to bury your access, but God is about to open a door wider than the one they tried to close. They wanted to weaken your voice, but God is about to let your silence speak louder than their conspiracy ever could. This is how the Lord works when people cross a line and attempt to interfere with what He Himself ordained. He does not merely rescue, He overturns. He does not merely protect, He exposes. He does not merely preserve what was threatened. He transforms the threat into the very platform from which His glory will be seen. That is why you must not interpret this season through fear. Fear will tell you the opposition is too organized. Fear will tell you their influence is too strong. Fear will tell you that what they planned in secret has already gone too far. But God says their plan reached its limit the moment heaven decided to confront it. Their words may have filled the room, but they never filled the throne. Their confidence may have impressed one another, but it did not impress the Most High. Their scheme may have felt solid for a moment, but it was already cracking under the weight of divine interruption. And now the reversal is spreading. Confusion is entering where arrogance once stood. Hesitation is entering where false unity once stood. Exposure is entering where secrecy once stood. The Lord is unsettling the very structure they trusted. He is causing weakness to appear in the middle of their agreement. He is touching timing, motive, memory, conscience, language, and outcome all at once. God says, I know how to make those who plotted without righteousness lose their certainty. I know how to make hidden things rise to the surface at the appointed time. I know how to make one moment, one word, one interruption, one unexpected development undo what took them weeks or months to assemble. So do not think this is only about survival. This is vindication. This is divine reversal. This is the hour in which heaven proves that no plan formed in darkness can outlast one decree from the living God. Are you ready to witness the Lord defend your name in real time? Are you ready to see the place they tried to strip from you become the place where God publicly confirms you? Then declare it now with faith, with boldness, and without apology. What was meant to erase me will elevate me. Write it in the comments, hold it in your spirit, and keep listening, because what comes next will not merely stop the attack. It will shift the entire landscape around your life. The meeting they thought would end your access is beginning to fall apart under the weight of heaven's hand. God says the room is no longer stable. What was once spoken with confidence is now being interrupted by uncertainty, hesitation, and quiet fear. The same people who believed they could move your name around like an object are beginning to feel something they did not expect. Their peace is breaking. Their language is shifting. Their certainty is thinning. They entered that conversation believing they were in control. But now the atmosphere has changed, because when God steps into a matter, no agreement built on darkness can remain whole for long. One person begins to question, another grows silent. Another senses that this is going too far. The momentum they relied on starts to weaken from the inside, and the structure they trusted begins to crack. God says, this is how I dismantle what was built against my chosen. I do not always strike with noise first. Sometimes I undo a plan by removing its confidence, disturbing its unity, and exposing its weakness at the exact moment it thought it was strongest. What they intended to finalize will not hold. What they intended to secure will not stand. What they intended to write over you is being erased before it can settle into permanence. Every false accusation, every twisted motive, every hidden intention, every quiet effort to push you aside is being brought under the judgment of heaven. The record they tried to create against you will not survive the presence of truth. God says, I am wiping away the words they used to diminish you. I am nullifying the plan they trusted to contain you. I am removing the weight of decisions that were never righteous to begin with. And this is only the beginning, because you are not merely being rescued from loss. You are being moved toward confirmation. The place they tried to keep from you is becoming part of the testimony God will use to reveal His faithfulness in your life. You will not walk away from this season smaller, weaker, or forgotten. You will walk out marked by divine preservation. You will walk out with greater clarity, greater authority, and greater peace. The attack will not define your future. The reversal will. The betrayal will not be the final chapter. The restoration will. God is not just stopping what they planned. He is repositioning you at the center of the next miracle He is about to release. So do not mourn as if this story ends in loss. Do not think the shaking means you have been abandoned. The shaking means the false structure is collapsing. The shaking means heaven is clearing the space. And when the dust settles, it will become unmistakably clear that your name was never at the mercy of that room. Your name was always in the hands of God. What God is releasing through this moment is far greater than escape. This is not only about being spared from a secret plan. This is about being restored, repositioned, and openly reminded that your life has never been in the hands of those who opposed you. God says you are not coming out of this merely protected. You are coming out of this transformed. The room they thought could reduce you will become the evidence that I was enlarging you. The pressure they thought would weaken you will become the proof that I was strengthening you. And the very season that looked like it might end in rejection will become the place where I begin a new chapter of honor, clarity, and divine elevation in your life. You must hear this with your spirit. You are not going back to the old version of yourself. You are not returning to the same fear, the same insecurity, the same need for human approval, or the same exhaustion that made you question whether your place could be taken. God is breaking that old cycle now. Something in you is being healed as this word unfolds. Something in you is being realigned. The wound of being overlooked is being touched. The fear of being replaced is being confronted. The pain of being misunderstood is being lifted from your shoulders little by the hand of God. Because the truth is this: you do not need a seat at their table when God is building a house for your future. You do not need the permission of fearful people when heaven has already spoken your name. You do not need to beg to remain where God Himself has established you. And if He chooses to move you, it will never be because you were defeated. It will be because He has prepared something higher, cleaner, safer, and more aligned with your purpose. This is why you must stop interpreting every closed door as a loss. Some doors close because corruption was behind them. Some circles break because you were never meant to be tied to their limitations. Some rooms reject you because your assignment was never meant to fit inside what they were trying to preserve. God says, I am not only preserving your place, I am preserving your peace. I am not only defending your name, I am restoring your confidence. I am not only exposing what was hidden, I am preparing a future where you will no longer live, bracing for betrayal. This new season carries a different air. It carries cleaner relationships, clearer direction, deeper discernment, and a stronger sense of identity. You will not have to force your way into what is truly from God. You will not have to shrink yourself to survive around insecure people. You will not have to live watching every face, every word, every tone, wondering who is secretly against you. The Lord is bringing you into a place of greater steadiness, where your spirit can rest and your calling can breathe. So lift your eyes higher. This was never just about surviving one attack. This was about God showing you that He can preserve what He ordained, remove what was false, and lead you into a future that no hidden meeting had the authority to cancel. And before this word closes, you must do one more thing. You must seal this warning, this protection, and this coming restoration with prayer.